to the weekend, and then when the weekend comes, I never really sleep. Um, but yes, hope you had a great one. So far so good. Uh, the football season is over, but international matches have been taking place. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some tennis stories, and yes, let's talk about what happened with the Super Falcons, because I'm sure you've seen it on social media, but we're going to look a little bit into the list that Randy Waldrum left us. All right, so we're talking about all those and more. But before we do that, Zibby, tell us, how can they be a part of the locker room?
It's easy. Just send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 You can also tweet a Smooth981. We're streaming live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So just search for Smooth981. You can catch the live stream and post a comment on there as well.
All right. So headlines first, and then we go straight into the stories.
Okay. It's heartbreaking to be left out of Super Falcons World Cup final list. Ngozi Okobi cries out. Anett Kontaveit says former world number 2 will retire after Wimbledon. Paris 2024 Olympics, French police raid organizers' headquarters. N'Golo Kante, Chelsea midfielder, agrees to join Saudi champions Al Ittihad. Mane strikes twice as Senegal beat Brazil in friendly. Yay! Colombia stunned Germany in latest setback for Euro 2024 hosts. New Zealand abandoned friendly against Qatar amid racism allegations. England have hit sweet spot since World Cup heartache, and this is according to Southgate.
It's interesting. I like the way Gary Southgate says we've hit a sweet spot since then. And yes, they've scored 11 goals. But they're playing against Malta and Macedonia. Anybody will hit a sweet spot against those people. It's not the kind of
It's
thing.
good to boost the morale, though, isn't it?
When they see England, like when they do these qualifiers and they play all these teams in friendlies, they are great, but you get them to play against a French side or a Croatian side or an Italian side when there's really something on the line. That's when you know whether the sport is sweet or not. So he needs to stop bragging about the recent results. But we'll get to that story eventually. Let's start from what's happening with the Super Falcons before we begin to take out the bean seed in other people's eyes.
All right. Super Falcons midfielder Ngozi Okobi has expressed sadness over her surprise exclusion from the team's 2023 FIFA Women World Cup in Australia and New Zealand.
All right. So it was, well, this news has taken a while, but a lot of people are bringing out their opinion pieces now, and I think that's what I brought this conversation to locker room to do, to discuss what's happening. So Randy Waldrum brought out his list. Now he didn't tell us why he excluded Ngozi Okobi, but of course there's been gist before that he doesn't really like her, the way she plays ball. Yes, he likes athletic players, sturdy players. But Ngozi Okobi is one of the few people that plays with flair in the national team, and she helps add that creativity to the team. In fact, when she's not in the team, they struggle with creativity. Now I understand he wants people that will run, people that when they're out of possession, they can fall back and knuckle down and just do the hard work. So he doesn't play pretty football, just like people running around. And on a normal day, I wouldn't have a problem with him, dropping any players, because I've seen it many times before watching football over the years. Coaches like who they like. You just be baffled. One coach just come in and that player, there's nothing you can do to him. People start asking, does this player have your nudes? No, he doesn't. Coaches just like the players that they like. And so they play those kind of players, and that's understandable. But when the gist is now that, she's not playing enough football in her club side, or she's of a certain age, I'm just like, you can't use that excuse, especially with the Super Falcons list, because there are other players of about the same age or older, and other players who haven't really featured for their club sides that you called on this list. So that excuse does not hold water, especially in Nigeria's midfield where you're looking for creative players. So if you bring out those kind of excuses, of course, before you even blink, from off the top of my head, I can bring out 3 or 4 names that about this, in the same boat that Ngozi Okobi is. So you don't drop a player for your bias. What's your tactical reason for dropping the players, or what's your technical reason? Or maybe you just say, you know what, I prefer this kind of players. End of discussion. But when you start trying to put the other player in a bad light, like, oh, it's her fault or she did something wrong. Like one of my colleagues said, oh, she didn't read the room, she's getting older, she should leave. I was like, do you know how many older people are on that list?
I know a few.
I know a few. Or he says stuff like, "Oh, I don't think she's as great as she was before." I'm like, mm-hmm. Which Ngozi Okobi are we talking about? So all these excuses don't hold water. But at the end of the day, Randy Walker has brought out his list. Those are the players he's going to carry to Australia and New Zealand. God bless him if Nigeria is disgraced out of that World Cup. God bless him. I know we're playing against Australia and Samantha Kerr is there. Oh God, Samantha Kerr against Nigeria's defense. I'm already holding my head.
Oh wow.
So it looks like, look, I think that if we have the talent and if we put in the work, we can come out of the group into the knockout stages. My hopes die at the knockout stages. Some people's hopes already died at the group stage.
Oh, wow.
Mine is a little existent and it dies at the knockout stages. But let's see how they go. But the thing is, if he gets to that World Cup and they do not perform, that's when he will really know whether this list that he brought out, he's going to be able to stand by it. But wait to see how it pans out. But all in all, I'll just say this. I don't think Ngozi Okobi has done anything to be omitted from the list. Barring coaching preference, and if that's the excuse, I can take that, But if it's just that, oh, I don't like the way this player is, and you're not looking at what the player puts on the team, then we'll have a problem if you don't do well in Australia. We'll have a big problem.
You might just go back to teaching PE full time.
And well, they've also, good news. I hear they've also paid him 7 months of his salary that they owed him. It's not the full thing. They've paid 7 months though. So yeah, you better go to the World Cup and perform. Now that I've given you some good news. All right.
Former world number 2 Anett Kontaveit has announced her retirement from tennis due to a condition in her back.
Oh yes, she has a lumbar disc condition at her back. So she's young. She's 27. So also
in tennis, is 27 young though?
27 is that's just the middle of your career.
Okay.
Oh, women play till like 35.
Or so if you're Venus, maybe 42.
If you're Venus, maybe 43. Yeah, but 27 is right in the middle. That's when you should start. If you haven't been winning titles at 19, that's when ideally you should pick up 1 or 2 majors as a woman. But so she's not going, ideally she's not retiring at this age. But unlike Ashley Barty, who retired to do many other things, this one is, her body has said, we are not doing this anymore. And that's really a young age. It's not something that you have, treatment for. It's something that you manage. And there are some days she wake up and say, I can play, and there's some days she can't play. And you can't have that kind of inconsistent output if you're going to play as a professional tennis player. So she's listened to her body, and she said, you know what, after Wimbledon, I'm done. Because I was wondering, just like when her career seemed to be on the rise, she was getting into the second week of Grand Slams, she was getting into finals of Masters tournaments, and all of a sudden, she started bringing mixed results. Well, here is the answer, Tega. Her back is the issue, and it's not something that she can treat. So yes, she has decided that she's going to call it quits at 27. It's a tough one. We're also discussing Andy Murray and Rafa Nadal, because Rafa Nadal's own injuries, now it's not even a question of can he play tennis. It's the fact that there's going to be some time in the near future he may not be able to walk without pain.
Wow.
So now that he's announced that his retirement is next season, all the surgeons are just like, here's my CV. This is what I've done with people with people who have your condition. Because that's what it is. The question is no longer about whether he can run, or the question is, can this guy walk without pain in the next 2 years?
Wow.
And you cannot be 37. and
having
struggling to walk.
mobility
Yes.
problems. Like,
So those are the things that you have to listen to. Have to listen to your body. Andy Murray is listening to his hip. Yesterday he played a match, um, and he was beaten in the match. And I know he won a challenger tournament just a week before, but that hip is telling him that I don't know how much of this torture we can take, and hips don't lie. So maybe time to just hang up those boots. But wait to see what he'll say. Yeah.
okay. French police are searching the headquarters of the organizers of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Now, officials are saying these raids are part of two preliminary corruption investigations.
Dun 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 dun. And this isn't Africa.
Yay!
I say it all the time. Corruption is an English word. It's not. I don't know. It's not an Yoruba word, is it? What language do you speak?
Ikwere? Probably not.
Is it an Ikwere word?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think corruption is also a Yoruba word. I just think again. But yeah, there's a raid going on at the French at the Olympics office now. The issue is handing out contracts. So they're saying that there's been a little bit of corruption when it comes to handing out contracts. They particularly raided one office of the guys that are supposed to be building, I think, some of the stadia that people will be participating in at the Olympics. So it's a huge deal. There's going to be multiple cases coming through during the just for the Olympics. So it's a tough one. The Olympics are literally next year, and then you're already starting a corruption case, or you're already investigating cases about the Olympics. But yeah, sports has never really been clean. There's always been one or two moments, from football to cycling to motorsports, that it's a little tricky, now to the Olympics. There's always been that issue of somebody doing something, or this or the other. But this one is right in the middle of preparation for the Olympics. And they are holding one of the contractors. They raided that contractor's office and said, we've also heard about you getting some contracts, not the legal way. So will France be ready for the Olympics? Well, maybe. But yes, this is going to throw up some dust and maybe affect preparation.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see what messages we have coming through. You can keep your messages coming. 0809 444 0981. Tayo says it's like the Arteta Ozil situation. Player bias are excused for not qualifying past the group stages. Grabs popcorn. And Tayo also says she's been carrying the success of the game for too long. All the best and get well soon.
Right.
Josh says, how does the FA owe someone salaries of more than 7 months and expect him to keep coaching and giving his best? I'm sure they have not paid everything. If we can't afford a foreign coach, let's make do with the local ones we can afford. I can't imagine being owed 7 months and still be normal.
We can't afford any coach. Local, foreign, we can't afford.
This must only happen in Nigeria. Ordinary 3 months my former employer owed. I involved lawyers and quit the job.
What I will say is it happened. We can't afford any coach. And I also say sometimes these foreigners, there's a reason they're still in the job despite being owed 10 months or 14 months salary. There's a reason. So whilst we are also telling the FA don't be owing people money, we should also be looking at those reasons. But yeah, it's a sad one. If you were a Nigerian coach, trust me, they may not have paid the 7 months upfront. They'll say go to the World Cup and come back. So let's just continue holding the people if they're tired, or the day they're tired, they can just give it to the international community without any consequences. That's what it should be.
All right, you're inside the locker room. Do stay with us. The show continues.
How many Nigerian coaches there were?
Like, why do they be owing countries anyway?
What does future forward banking mean to you? Speed, innovation, convenience, lifestyle goals, or just simply getting
So
service
why are
that's
the foreign
designed
countries
just for
you?
you?
You said there's a reason.
Yeah, we thought you might like all of that.
he has his PE job on the side.
Yes, but
Providence
that's not
Bank
work.
for you to take
You
care of
don't
your
have a
daily
coaching license to be a
experiences.
PE teacher.
At Providence Bank, we believe
You
that
don't have a
banking should
coaching
be all
license to
about
go and
you
coach
and
a
your
college
business
side.
and how
But
to
he
get
coaches a
you to
uni
the
though.
next
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't
If you
have.
do not
you don't,
already
that's
have a
not why you
Providence Bank
go to
account,
coaching
please
school.
speak with our
So this
business
is good for his
concierge
career.
Yeah,
on
you collect
0700
a license to coach a
77
good national team or a
387
good
or
club
email
side.
businessconcierge at
That's what
providencebank.com to switch to a future forward banking experience.
So if you don't get that,
Providence
you know,
Bank.
you take
Yeah.
what it is.
Future forward banking.
They're paying like $10,000 a month.
That's a lot though.
But people stay in the country.
And for most of the time, the girls are probably in their own clothes anyway. So, but then, I mean, if you're gonna go and ship someone all the way from the US, you don't have to pay them.
Available in disposable tablets.
It's decent actually.
Dosing for kids. Shalatam is also available in tablets for adults. Knock out malaria in 3 days with Shalatam from Sharina Healthcare.
I'm trying to explain why this
3
corner
days.
is so warm.
Consult your doctor.
Sorry,
I can't explain why this place is warm.
there must be some physics to it.
Cause I'll be a superstar. Eva!
Hi people, my name is Praise, and if you want good music, stay tuned to Smooth 98.1.
You're inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby. Get in touch. Let us know what your thoughts are. We're streaming live on YouTube, Smooth 981 FM Lagos. WhatsApp number is 08. Tega, where are you trying to fly? WhatsApp number 0809 4440981. And you can also tweet at Smooth981. All right, this one has to do with the former Chelsea midfielder, N'Golo Kante. Now, he's agreed to sign for Saudi Arabian champions Al Ittihad. The 32-year-old's contract at Stamford Bridge expires at the end of this month.
All right, it was always going to be tricky. I think he played maybe 10 or 9 games last season. Tough one. He struggled with injuries, struggled with fitness, sometimes struggled with the coach's preference, but, you know, he's dropped out of favor. That's clearly what it is. And of course, Saudi Arabia is calling everybody now. They are, I mean, think Ruben Neves. They even looked at Lukaku briefly. You know, anybody that is anybody, they're just calling Europeans. Look, are you tired of Europe?
Come.
Here's some money. Come to Saudi Arabia. We have sun, constant sun. So really, really interesting one. But again, because you've fallen out of favor like that, you're always going to go. He's 32, and whilst it may be a sad loss, and some people still think that, you know, if he puts in the work, he'll be able to get into another team. I think the guy is just like, you know what am I hustling for? I've won everything that you know needs to be won in Europe. Perhaps let me just go and secure the bag. Thing though is, when all these players move, I wonder about their families, because I'm sure lifestyle is also something they'll have to consider, that they may not be used to. So I know a little bit of N'Golo Kante's wife, because she's former Jibril Cisse's wife, which means
What?
oh no, they don't leave that circle. So I think that there's some women
The
that
wags.
that are always going to be wags.
Wait,
Yeah?
you married your weren't they on the French team? Okay, probably not
Yeah,
at the same time.
not at the
though.
same time. Jibril Cisse was ahead, was
Wow.
Thierry Henry's time, and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
N'Golo Kante was
wow.
after. So yes, N'Golo Kante married Jibril Cisse's ex-wife.
Oh wow.
So
wow.
I
They're
know,
keeping it in the family.
yeah, so I know a bit of her. Oh, they always marry. It's just that it's just the group of women. If you check, somebody is married to somebody who was married to somebody else, or is dating someone who was dating.
It's a
They're
small
just-
circle.
Yeah, it's a
truly.
small circle. It's a type of I mean, think about it. You come to work every day. You just get your hair done, you know, a little bit of coils. But no, these women go to the gym at 6 a.m.
That is
spend
true.
like 2
It's
hours
not
or
easy
3
being a
hours.
wag,
You
man.
know, then they wax everything from head to toe. You know,
How come you said head to toe and you started from toe to
the
head?
head, you know, don't mind me. I'm still asleep. You know, then they really take good care of themselves. They oil the engine.
That's true.
And you don't have that time. So you can't catch those kind of people.
That's true. Sadly.
Sadly. So people, they are professional wags.
Yeah.
So just leave them.
Like they start being groomed to be wags from
to
when
be
they're
wags from-
teenagers.
Yeah, so
really.
there's a way it goes around. So again, for her, I think so. I know a bit of her, so I'm just questioning: will she be able to stay in Saudi Arabia? but it's none of my business.
Wow, interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Sadio Mane scored 2 goals as African champion Senegal came from behind to defeat the great Brazil 4-2 in an international friendly in Lisbon on Tuesday.
Yeah, so Brazil still do not have a coach since the World Cup. But the question I want to ask is, please, Super Eagles, when can you play Brazil so that I can have some, confidence booster? Because they've lost the last 3 matches they've played against African sides. They've lost all of them. Lost to Morocco, lost to Cameroon. Now they've lost to Senegal 4-2. So perhaps if you want to have some faith in Super Eagles, maybe Super Eagles should play Brazil. But again, with the way our love goes, it may just be us that Brazil will now use to build their confidence.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, they're playing against a Senegal side that is mobile, that is fast and know what to do with the ball. They have good communication. The Brazilian side, yes, like I said, without a coach, but they still had Vinicius Junior. They didn't have Neymar, but still a pretty much good side. And they struggle to do much, especially defensively. In fact, one of the goals was an own goal, just for good measure. So yes, defensively they are still struggling. So not a team in a good side at this point, in good form at this point in time. But that's not to take away from what a brilliant team Senegal is. And that's not to take away from what Senegal has done with football, even across the age grades. I think it's only women's football that they're still, out there. So brilliant result. Sadio Mane must have been happy. He didn't have a very good time at Bayern Munich, especially after that fight with Leroy Sané, and then would he move or would he stay? But going back home to Senegal, leading his team, missing the World Cup but still getting to play Brazil and score and win must have been a good one for them.
All right, let us know what your thoughts are. 0809 440 981. WhatsApp, that's the number. You can also tweet at smooth981. Germany has suffered a 2-1 home loss to Colombia in a friendly on Tuesday in their latest setback less than a year before they host Euro 2024.
All right, yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen to Germany, because this is the German machine that we're talking about. This is the German team. When you think of the German team, you think great football, effective team, and then all of a sudden Germany is struggling. And what makes it worse for them is that they are hosting the Euros next year. So imagine Germany hosting the Euros and crashing out early.
Ooh.
Yesterday they booed them off. They're like, come and be going. No. They booed them off the pitch.
The fans.
Yes, the fans are like, this is horrible. Get off our pitch. Come and be going to your village. Not a very good thing. And I don't know if you want to blame the coach, because Hansi Flick is not a bad coach. And then you look at the crop of players that they have. They're not all bad. So there's something, whether it's in the transition or how they mixed the team up. So maybe they shouldn't have just excluded all the old players and just come with fresh players. Maybe they should have had a mix. But there's something off. Yesterday they played brilliantly, get to the finals, they didn't know what to do with the ball, and then they gave away goals in defense. So Colombia scoring 2 goals there. It was a tricky one. So I don't know. Again, I don't know the color of their problem. You see, I can't diagnose what is really their problem. And that's where the problem is. They have good players. They have a system to which good players always coming through. But they're just not delivering the result that they need. So, tough one for this German side.
Do we want to look at some messages?
Let's just do one more story, then we'll look at some messages.
Okay. Let's go on to this one. New Zealand refused to appear for a second half in the friendly game against Qatar in Austria on Monday. Now, this came after New Zealand said a Qatari player called the All Whites defender Michael Boxall a racial slur.
All right. So this one, not just the player, but other people around heard it. And evidence. But here's what is tricky. And of course, they're going to report to FIFA. It's New Zealand versus Qatar. It's the kind of thing I want to see an England do, or a Germany do, or a French side do. That is where the shake will be. When a big nation or a big club side is involved, they just be like, you know what, we're not coming out for half time. This person said this thing. Yep. I still can't get over the fact that Valencia defender that was racially abused and they said play on.
Imagine that.
I still can't buy a player. You see, we ban if you're caught in racism for football, I think it's a live ban or something. But the ban that footballers get sometimes is just tricky. 8-match ban. Why don't you just give the person some money and say go to Cancun?
Go on holiday.
Just go on a holiday.
Right.
So I'm happy this happened. I'm glad that FIFA is going to look into it. Of course, it's something that they are already talking strongly about. But it's Qatar and New Zealand. I want it to be a big nation. Just boldly just wake up one morning and say, you know what? Somebody said he was racially abused. We're not playing the game. And that change that we are looking for, we'll get it.
Okay. Messages and then our next story.
One more story.
Okay.
One more story.
That is our last story.
The last story.
All right. So England's response to their World Cup quarterfinal defeat by France has been so positive. Head coach Gareth Southgate says his players have hit a sweet spot and are hungrier than ever to finally deliver a trophy.
By beating Malta and Macedonia.
Oh wow!
Well, you can only beat the team that is in front of you at the end of the day. So it was Malta and they beat them 4-0. Then it was Macedonia and that one was 7-0. In fact, I was very excited to watch that match. Then I saw the goals were coming and I said, please let me watch France playing against Greece. Let me look for something else that is happening somewhere. But yeah, they tend to flatter to deceive in this kind of matches. They play brilliantly, they play fluidly, and you can argue that in qualifiers they are very good in qualifiers. Tournaments, that's what we are looking for, England. Tournaments. So Gareth Southgate, I believe you've hit the sweet spot when you actually go to a tournament, beat a big side, and win a trophy. Until then, we still know you are Arsenal side.
Oh, poor Arsenal. All right, Emeka from Amu says, Super Eagles that couldn't beat Portugal and Algeria in friendlies. Brazil we can beat. I think there's a better chance of snow falling in Nigeria than Super Eagles beating Brazil. As for Bukayo Saka, he came to Nigeria, ate fufu, and is presently scoring for fun for England. All right, this one, okay. I don't understand that message. But let's go on to Tayo. Tayo says, it's all brighter grammar and whatnot for England until they meet a better team. I'm not impressed.
I'm not. I saw the goals. I was just like, oh, their fans are going to feel very happy now. Unfortunately, this doesn't count. It's not yet coming home. Oh, sorry, it has not yet come home.
He says Lukaku, that frustrated his team from equalizing in the final, is unhappy that Saudi money said no. Mrs. Kante is the definition of football housewife. We. Even Hudson Odo is being quoted by Saudi money. God, when? How competitive is the Saudi league? I have one good leg to score with. I'm no Haaland, but I can still score.
I beg you, don't count. But me, I know that they will. I'm saying it. I'm looking for my Saudi connection because I know
Speak into the world.
Yeah, because I know that they'll be looking for a broadcast, somebody with broadcast, experience to help them.
That's true.
Yeah, with all these things. Yeah.
Chimobi Victor says England are always good when it comes to qualifying, but when the tournament starts properly, they will sleep on the bicycles. So no surprise they scored 7. They didn't score 7 goals in their last game.
They scored 7
in one game.
Yes, one was 4-0, one was 7.
What on earth?
That's why I said 11 goals.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in the last 2 matches.
Okay. They might really be seeing that sweet spot though.
Which sweet spot against Macedonia? Look, I will use worry. No, let me not talk too much. I wanted to say I will use a yimba, but let me not talk too much.
By the way, when you're moving to the Middle East, Tega, Maiwa says, I'm coming with you to be your bodyguard.
Yes, it'll be nice. I'm just not paying you.
Wait, you'll be getting Arab money.
I'm still not paying him.
Damn. Cold. Well, that's all the time that we have for the locker room. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your messages. Tega, have a brilliant day. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast. Lagos Talk starts from 9 a.m.